I was leaving my office, I walked down the main hallway. There was a pregnant lady and an older lady that was with her. The pregnant lady stumbled just a little bit and leaned up against the wall, and I immediately saw her. And I said, "Ma'am, can I help you a little bit?" My name is Bobby Fleck. I'm a chaplain resident at a level 1 regional trauma center. Well, like anything, there are beginnings. I've been thinking about wanting to do a blog or a vlog for quite a while. I watch a number of doctors on YouTube and a number of other medical professionals, residents, share about their journey into full-time work in the healthcare setting. And I began to wonder what it would be like for a chaplain resident like myself to share some of those experiences. I don't know if these thoughts will ever really get posted or if I'll have the courage to create this and change this into a video, but my hope is through some honesty and reflection and just kind of pulling back the curtain. I hope just by sharing some of my experiences that folks like me who are going through the process, those that may be considering chaplaincy, those that have been in it for a long time, and really just people in general would gain some insight into the regular daily life of what it means to be a chaplain in these kinds of settings. So that's a little bit of what I would like to do, is just give a little bit of reflection into what a day would look like. So maybe talking about some of my on-call shifts and schedules. We have this incredible thing built into our program of residency called Clinical Pastoral Education through the Association of Clinical Pastoral Education, ACPE. And there's this program built in CPE that trains chaplains how to be chaplains in these kinds of clinical settings. I'd like to share some of those insights into, what it means to be a chaplain, what we go through, the process, all that kind of stuff. It's very often, even in the medical setting, that I encounter doctors or nurses, other folks that have really no idea what we go through on a regular basis, our education, our thought process, our group, all those kinds of things. So kind of want to pull back the curtain on some of those experiences, and then also offer a little bit of reflection into what a day looks like for me. Like I said, I hesitated to share a little bit of this, and of course I will post this on a day and time, hopefully some in the future, where the dates and times and that protected information that we promise to protect is not identifiable. So I will respect those limitations that are defined that we go through in a way to really honor those patients and families and situations that I go through. And obviously to protect those things, but also, to honor the stories and the privacy of those folks. So I can't really share details in a lot of cases, but I also would like to share as much as I can those insights and experiences into, what I have encountered on an on-call shift itself, what my experiences look like in the units that are assigned to me, various other things like that. So these are my experiences. These are my thoughts, my reflections in the midst of it all. And maybe this will be a little bit helpful for you to see and hear and just learn some from me. I love the community on platforms like YouTube, that I get to experience the ways that other folks that are going through the process and their different processes kind of invite other people in and just share some of that honest feedback and reflection. So that's what I'd love to do from a resident chaplain perspective. Right now, I am in about halfway through the residency program, which is a year-long process that we go through to be a board-certified chaplain, which is what I would love to be sometime soon. We have to go through 4 units of clinical pastoral education through an accredited center. So I just finished my 2nd unit in December, and I'm in my 3rd unit. And I've got 1 more unit to go over the summer, and then I can go through the board certification process. It's a lot of work. That's on top of a master's degree, Master's of Divinity, that we go through, and I'll share some more about that, specific videos, reflections, that sort of thing. But at least for now, this is just a little bit of an intro and reflection into what that means to be a resident chaplain and that kind of thing. It is 7:30 and we're getting close to the end of this on-call shift. Today has been an interesting and long and difficult day in-house in a lot of reasons and a lot of ways. My shift is a 24-hour shift. Currently, we're doing 12 hours in person with a pager. And so I respond to various pages that come to me. Those are either codes, traumas, nurses, doctors, patients, families who specifically request a chaplain via that pager. We also have a phone system where folks can call it straight into my extension. And then also we have the electronic medical record where someone can put in an actual consult for us. As the on-call chaplain, we normally describe that experience as something like an air traffic controller, which my job in that is to direct traffic into our other residents, our staff chaplain, and any interns that we may have as well. I don't have to respond to everything, but it's my responsibility to direct others while others are in person to those things. Once they go off their normal schedule, which happens about 4:30 p.m. each day, for that rest of the time, those couple of hours, 4 hours or so that I'm still in person, I'm respond to everything, every consult, every pager, every code that comes through, every trauma. That's me when I'm on call. And then I go home and I give the house supervisor my phone number, and they can call me back if the situation warrants. Depending on the different situations and what's going on, seasons, schedules, things like that in the hospital, we can stay in person overnight. Currently, due to staffing, we go home at about 8 o'clock each evening. But we do get called back in by the house supervisor for the hospital if we need to respond. And that's usually what I tell the house super as I'm heading out is, hey, if you need me, let me know and I'll be glad to come back. I'm not too far away. So today was, like I said, a difficult shift. We had class from 9 to 12:30 today. And I'll talk more about class in different videos. But had our class time this morning. After that, the pager and consults and phone went non-stop for several hours, probably 5 hours straight. Didn't sit down, didn't get to chart on a lot of those things until much later. Here in the last hour or so, I've done some follow-up on some of those traumas that came in, some of those consults, pages, codes, and really just kind of checked back in on families that I felt like needed a little bit extra attention, checked back in on patients that I felt like needed a little bit of follow-up, especially after a trauma where I don't always get to talk to the patient right to start with because they're being triaged in that environment. So a little bit of a heavy day with some losses, some deaths, being with families, that sort of thing, being aware of my own grief in the midst of providing for others and holding space for them. I'm grateful for the folks that I've met today, the patients, the families, and I know that there's always more work to be done in the midst of it all. I had a really neat experience happen today as I was just really wanted to get up and stretch my legs for a little bit. It happened a couple of hours ago. As I was leaving my office, I walked down the main hallway outside of the cafeteria, and there was a pregnant lady and an older lady that was with her. The pregnant lady stumbled just a little bit and leaned up against the wall, and I immediately saw her. And I said, "Ma'am, can I help you a little bit?" And she said, "No, well, I'm okay." And I said, "Well, hold on a second. I can see that, you're having a hard time walking down the hallway. Can I help you? Can I be of assistance to you?" And she hesitated a little bit. And I said, "Ma'am, I'm a chaplain here at the hospital, and I saw you were having a hard time walking down the hallway. Would you have a seat right here? And I'll go get a wheelchair and we'll take you where you need to go." And she said, "Yeah, I probably should do that." And then the other lady spoke up. It was actually her mother. And she said, "Well, she's been having contractions here for a couple hours, and it's been getting kind of difficult for her, so we decided to come in." And I said, "Have a seat right here. I'll go find a wheelchair, and I'll be right back." I really didn't know where to get a wheelchair from, to be honest with you. So I went to guest services, told them what was going on. I said, "Look, I'll go find one. You just let me know where to go." They did not have one at guest services, told me I needed to go to the adult emergency department. And I quickly went down the hallway. The adult ED check-in didn't have one, but they told me where I could find one. Went into where they told me there might be one. And sure enough, thank God, there was a wheelchair right there. So immediately grabbed that. It wasn't tied down, wasn't being used, didn't have a patient attached to it. And I cleared it with the nurse, of course. I'm just being kind of funny. But quickly took it down the hallway and delivered it to this expectant mama. Turned out she was 38 weeks pregnant with her second child. I said, "Hey, perfect timing. I just happened to leave my office at like the exact right moment, and I would be glad to take you down the hallway. I know where you're going to check in." My assumption, I sort of checked it with her, make sure it was going to be the right unit, and she said yes, that was the right place. So I said, "All right, that's perfect. I'll be glad to take you there." And we proceeded to do that. Is that being a chaplain? I think so. I think that's part of what it means to be a chaplain, is to be open to those opportunities just to provide care and support. And I sure hope for just that moment that this expectant mama felt like she was being taken care of. And received a little bit of assistance. If nothing else, I wanted to make sure she made it safely to where she needed to go and didn't fall or didn't get hurt or anything like that. So they were grateful for that opportunity, and I was happy to help them too in the midst of that. So anyhow, just a little bit of a thought from today in the midst of a very difficult and heavy day with lots of losses in the midst of an on-call shift. There's some grace, there's some goodness, there's nuggets of serendipity that we get to experience. A key component of my theology and the way I see my work and the way I respond to God moving and working in my life is serendipity. And for me, those are those moments that are too random to be random. I was a youth director for a long time at different churches, and that's kind of what I would tell teenagers as I would talk to them. Those God moments are those serendipitous kind of moments where things are just way too random to be random. And I think we get those moments all the time in life. And so I think God's encouragement to me to that was, hey, even in the midst of I just needed to get out and stretch my legs for a minute, He sure did give me an opportunity to stretch my legs as I wheeled this mama up to what may be the arrival of her brand new baby girl. What a great thing to be able to celebrate with her and provide for her, and grateful for that opportunity as well. So, hey, look for those serendipitous moments in your life. Look for those little moments where you can be goodness and grace and encouragement and love to other people. And I hope you sure would do that as well. So here's to some new beginnings, as hopefully you would go with me along this chaplain residency. Have no idea what this is going to look like as far as regularity, vlog posts, videos, that sort of thing. I make no promises as I begin this. I simply knew that I needed to begin. It was time. In some ways, I wish I would have done this back in August when I started my residency, so you'd get sort of the unfiltered, unadulterated versions of what it was like day one, week one, month one, all those kinds of things. But here we sit, and I'm grateful to start. I'm glad that there's grace, even when things don't go exactly the way I want them to go. I'm super grateful just for the opportunities that are here before us, before me, before you, as you would engage with me in this community. Hey, it's Bobby again. Just a quick addendum to reiterate again, just the serendipity. You know, as I was literally about to leave, just recording a little bit of video, kind of coming down the hallway. You just saw those a little bit ago. I ran into a lady that's so sweet, so generous, and she wanted to talk about what it means to be a chaplain here at this hospital. So I spent about 30 minutes with her, off the clock, really, past the time, to just share with her. Such a generous spirit, such a beautiful personality, literally along the same path that I had walked earlier of the same person that I'd shared with just a little bit earlier in this video. So, hey, be open to those serendipitous moments. Be open to the ways that God and the Holy Spirit would move you, put people in your path, and respond faithfully to those things. Be open to it. Share in that grace. There's incredible blessing, incredible opportunity there. This is Bobby signing off, chaplain resident here at a Level 1 Trauma Center. This is a day in the life of a chaplain resident on an on-call shift. Thanks. God bless.